Hey, what's going on, Rockstars? Welcome back to the Rockstarflipper YouTube channel. November 4th, 2018. It's a beautiful Sunday, and I want to end the weekend with this video. You saw the title, Niche Selling. So a question that I get an awful lot in my email box and my inbox on Facebook is, should I target one item or one type of item, or should I try to just buy a big mix of everything? And so generally speaking, I always tell people to keep their eyes open, buy anything they can sell. And I've always had that old saying, you know, I'll flip anything that I can make a buck on. I'll buy jelly beans and sell them if I can flip the bag. And while that's true, while I will buy and sell everything, you guys know I have clothes, I have video games, I have iPods, I have shoes. The niche idea has really always kind of tugged at me and asked me, like, maybe I should go that route. Maybe I should try to just focus on one or two types of items. You know, there are people, we all know the postcard guy, Popeye the postcard guy. He's got 15,000 postcards. We all know the necktie guy that I've shouted out before, 27,000 neckties. We all know a couple people that only do shoes. Tino's a great example. Tino only sells shoes. I know he sold other items, but Tino is the shoe guy. Tino the soul advisor. Everybody knows that. So there are definitely successful niche sellers on eBay and Amazon. And if that's the route you choose to go, by all means, like, if you don't want to sell 100 different items, then you shouldn't have to. But always keep in mind that you have to take what's available to you also. If you want to sell 1,000 pair of shoes, but you can only get a few pairs, if you don't have a source, then you have to go another route. You either have to pick a different niche, or you have to start buying a little bit of everything, which is sort of what happened to me. There are some niches available. Remember, at one time I had almost 2,000 video games at Amazon, for sale, active on Amazon. Now that market dried up for me, at least here, and I got away from that and started mixing in clothes and shoes and all that stuff. But I did have a niche. Video games was my thing, and I did very well on it, and I really tried to focus on video games. 90% of our inventory was video games. We had iPods and Macs and stuff like that, but for the most part it was video games. You think about some successful companies. Listen, the biggest companies in the world, Walmart and Target and Amazon, they sell everything. They're a big, huge mix, but that's what they do. We talk about some of the highest value niche products. Well, Apple, for a long, long time, only sold two products. They sold a computer and they sold software, and that was it. They eventually developed an iPod when the Steve Jobs era came in, and they were able to turn that into a phone, and now they've got 5 or 6 products. You know, they've got computers, they've got iPhones, they've got iPods, they've got Apple Watches, they've got other type of, you know, the software, Mac OS X, they've got Apple TVs. So, you know, Apple has turned into iPads, tablets, of course. So they've got 5 or 6 core products now. You know, all those things make up their business, and it was just added streams for them. But they niched. They started with one thing. It was computers with software, and Microsoft kind of started that same way. Windows. They did software, an OS, an operating system for a computer. It was just Windows, and that was it. And they've, of course, expanded into other things, cloud computing and you know, Office and spreadsheets and accounting and what have you, but they always grew on that one product. Tesla is building a company based on 2 products. They sell a car and they sell an SUV, and that's it. I mean, there are a couple different models of their car, but for the most part, it's 2 products. And, you know, so there are some very successful niche companies, and there are very niche successful sellers on Amazon and eBay. I talked about one the other day. He does, you know, tens of millions in excess. He's done in excess of $100 million in sales through his company, and he sells one product, but about 1,000 different types of that product. So I'll give you an example. This isn't what he sells, but he sells women's high heel shoes, and he sells them in pumps, and he sells them in open toe and closed toe and peep toe and strap and strapless and all this type of things. Now, he's not a shoe seller, ladies, I'm sorry. And I can't reveal to you what he sells because it is duplicatable to a point. He has some competition already. But, you know, he sells one of the same item, just 1,000 different varieties of that item. And so I want to take a minute. I want to show you guys a couple of niche accounts on eBay. And if this is something you're interested in, by all means, check it out. Comment down below. Tell me if you're a niche seller. If you're not, if you don't want to share the product or even the category, that's totally fine. By all means, I respect that. Keep it to yourself. But I want to show you guys that it can be done if you decide you want to go niche. What's going to happen now is, let's say that you know, my route was niche neckties. I've got 2,000 neckties in here, and we're still working on this, and we may ramp this back up again to get, you know, several thousand ties up. But you go to the bins and you dig out ties, that's great and fine. But once you finally discover a niche, you have to get a source, whether it's wholesale, bulk. Let's say that you want to sell flip-flops. You could go out on social media, on eBay, on Amazon, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can message everybody making offers, asking to buy inventory, people that are going out of business, the liquidations, the wholesales, the websites. There's a million places once you figure out a niche that you need to search, and you need to put your name out there that you will buy it. You guys might remember when I was messaging on Instagram and Facebook, again, I might do it soon, that I'll buy any ties. You know, anybody that has ties, I'm paying 50 cents to $1 a tie. As long as you have decent brands, send me a list. And then all of a sudden I didn't have to go to the bins anymore. I had this person sending me 100 and this person sending me 200 and this person sending me 50. And then I've got hundreds and hundreds of ties rolling in here. And you can do that with almost any product once you find sources. So that's the most important thing about niche selling. Let's go over to my computer. Let me show you a few people, and maybe this will give you guys some ideas of some products or some things to look into, or it'll motivate you to do a little research and maybe find your next niche product. Let's take a look. All right, for anybody that hasn't seen the other previous video, this is Hantex. He's out of Texas, go figure. Normally he maintains like 23 or 24,000. For some reason he's right around 19,000 right now. So you guys can scroll through here. I believe the last time I did the math, his average sale price, including the 279s and 260 shipping, is right around 14 or 15 bucks. If we come over to his solds, he sold 3,100 ties in 90 days. Now that only comes out to like 34 or 35 a day. And then when we do the calculations for his average price, if I'm right, if it's $14 and he's selling 35 ties a day, that's 490 bucks a day. That's 14, almost 15,000 for the month. I'm assuming his cost of goods is low because he does sell a lot of cheaper ones. And assuming that if we're talking about him doing 14,700 a month after fees and after shipping, so we're going to call it about 12,700 after fees. And then his shipping on 1,000 items a month is, of course, going to be 2,600. So it's going to leave him with right around $10,000 less cost of goods on 1,000 ties. I would hope that he's under $2 a tie, so that would leave him 8,000 in pocket. But he's maintaining, 18,000 ties. Now, he used to maintain more. As far as I know, he has one employee, so that might be costing him another $1,500 to $2,000 a month. I'm not sure. So he might only be putting 6,500 in his pocket, maybe 7,000, and that's clean, clear profit, maintaining 19,000 listings. Now, we all know that ties are slow. I also think that a lot of his ties are overpriced. I think that he holds out for high prices, but gives up the volume. If you're going to sell something like this, in my opinion, it has to be volume. Let me show you what I mean. This is Popeye. He has almost the same 18,000 postcards. Now, his average sale price is a little bit lower. His average sale price is probably around like 10 bucks. And he only sold 1,000 postcards over the same 90 days, which is 11 a day. So he's selling a third. So cut all those numbers I just gave you in thirds, but I would assume his postcards are probably cheaper than the neckties. So two different business models, two different results, two different stores here that you can look up, both of them there. I'll show you let me go ahead and close out these two. I'll show you what one of his postcard listings look like. In case eBay or anybody else is watching this, I have permission from him. I talk to him all the time, and he is currently away, but this is one of his listings, front and back. Spinach Dash Eater is his name. He has 18,000 and change, 100% feedback. He's from Walkersville, Maryland, which is a little ways from where I live, but I do know where it is. He still has 14-day returns somehow. I don't know how that's possible. But if you scroll down, it's just a basic template that he has, and he puts up two photos front and back, and he has a scanner, I believe he told me, that he just scans the front and back, and it's pretty quick. He can put up a listing in about a minute to 2 minutes tops, so he gets up 50, 60 listings pretty quickly. All right, moving on. This is a different model, but still same niche. So this is an electronic niche seller. And we can see that his sold items are very, very high dollar items. He has an average sell price in like the $250 to $300 range. It's super high. We can see all this. He deals in Apple products, all kinds of different things, AirPods, earbuds, phones, tablets. Here's an iPad, some random Robert Graham shirt, which is kind of funny. If we come over here and look, you can see even though he doesn't sell a lot of items, if you look at the dates on these, he's selling 1 or 2 items in a day. He is selling quantity, 5 available. Look at this one. 11 sold, 5 available. So he had 16 of this one item listed for $850. Well, that's pretty high when you're talking about you sold 11 of those. And I don't know if that's in the last 90 days, but let's just assume that it's the last 90 days. That one item alone netted him $9,350 in gross sales for 90 days. Just on that one item alone, he was doing $100 a day. And then, of course, he has all those other items. I mean, this one right here, he sold 5 of for $850. So 5 at $850 is what? Another $850 and 5 is another $4,250. So that item was another $4,250 over 90 days, another $47 a day. So you can see some people have 18,000 listings and some people only have a couple dozen listings and actually doing more money with high dollar items. So it's up to you which way that you go. But if you decide to niche out on a product, you have to have quantity. You have to have all these either quantity listings available, like 5, 11, or you have to have 18,000 individual one-off items. Everybody's going to, of course, say, well, wouldn't you want to have just the 10 listings? But it's not as easy to find those items, especially not these high-dollar Apple products. You have to be a wholesaler, distributor, etc., or have contacts or spend a lot of money on retail just to flip them, for 10% on the margins. So his margins are much, much less, I can tell you that. Anyways, this is Niche. I want to know if you guys have niche products you're willing to share. Put it in the comment section, or you can private message me if you don't want to share it publicly. If you just want to talk about niche, do so in the bottom in the comments. If you want to keep it private, I understand that's cool too. I just want to know your opinion on the topic in general. Thanks so much for watching. Appreciate it. A lot of people emailed about this, so I decided to make a video, and I can't wait to read the comments. Very interested in how you guys feel. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. As always, YouTube doing the unsubscribe thing. So double check, even though you've pressed the subscribe button before, you might not be. Check on it for me. I appreciate that. And like the video, give it a thumbs up, and share it with anybody that you know. And if you're interested in the VIP group or the 7 Bolo guide, sourcing guide list, all 7 for 25 bucks. They're both linked below. You can grab them. They will auto email you. You don't have to wait for me. Just press the button, hit pay, and it will show up in your email box. Make sure you check your spam. Till next time, guys. I'll see you then.